Greetings, fellow humans. Bad Mark here with another transmission from Metre Keyboards, and today we're taking a look at yet another Yunzii keyboard in the AL lineup. I've previously taken a look at the AL66, the AL68, and the AL75. I think the only AL I've yet to take a look at is the AL80. Hopefully I'll be able to take a look at that after this one. But this one is a 65% with a very interesting design. So far, I have been pleasantly surprised with the offerings in the AL series from Yunzii. I'm going to guess that AL stands for aluminum, though I think they have some other aluminum ones. Right now, the AL75 is about one of my favorites. It's in contest with another one in my rotation, but I really enjoy the AL75, and I haven't replaced the switches or the keycaps on it. To me, it's one of those few perfect out-of-the-board keyboards, like out-of-the-box keyboards, that you just don't really need to do anything but plug it in and get to work. So today we're taking a look at the AL65, a very interesting, I do believe, 3-mode keyboard. Now, they do have this cutout design. Now, I got to say, I love that, but the first time I saw it, I was like, the PCB is just open to thin air. For those of us that have worked in electronics with electrics, I mean, heck, even just built a PC, we know that dust and electronics really aren't friends. So I was always like, I mean, I've got one of those cases, the Holy cases, sitting in my cart, but I just can't bring myself to buy it because it's like, I don't see myself using a keyboard that's primarily holes. So the fact that they've actually done this really cool, Holy design, but they've actually put something to protect the interior of the PCB, I think that's the proper way to do the design. So that's just my thoughts on it. Don't get me wrong, if one comes across my desk to review, I'll review it, but it's like part of me is going to want to cut out at least like some plastic strips of the right size so that I can actually protect it. It's cool that I can see in there, but it shouldn't, in my opinion, just be left out to the open. So let's go ahead, without further ado, dive in, see what we've got with this Yunzii AL65 aluminum keyboard. So we have a very nice user manual. Seems to be fairly complete. A couple different languages. Talking about how to properly install switches and keycaps. And this is a VIA keyboard. I think all but one or all the AL series VIA. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. Always nice having a manual that's more than just a single page. It's folded. We also have a quick user guide card, and it actually looks to be pretty complete. I mean, obviously we've got a couple of different languages, but the fact that we have this, basically the majority of the shortcuts that you're going to use on one easy card. I come across a lot of keyboards. Sometimes they have different mappings, so I like to keep this card around for the first few days that I use the card so I can remember, what are the things that I need to get access to, especially on a 65. Where's the insert if I haven't programmed it? Where's the, page up, page down, so on and so forth for the keys that aren't already mapped. We also have a rubberized USB-C to USB-A cable. We have your standard wire switch and keycap puller. We have a 2.4 gigahertz dongle that thankfully is branded with Yunzii, so we know what this is going to go to. And we have some extra keycaps. I always like it when they include extra keycaps because it's like I can customize it without having to go out and get an entire keycap set of my own. And here we are with the Yunzii AL65, and thankfully Yunzii has included a dust cover. I always appreciate this as well. Using the dust cover on your keyboard when it's not in use, it's going to give you the longest lifetime possible for that keyboard. And here we are, another lovely design. Oh, I did not know that. It has looks like it has a light that goes all around the perimeter. And like I said, we have this basically plastic layer that's going to protect the interior. We have a mode switch that is not below a keycap. And we actually have not quite sure what that says. My cursive isn't the best in the world. But we do have a lovely design. We have a compressed 65%, so we have the 1U modifiers on the right of the spacebar. Now we do have what appear to be PC shine through keycaps for some of these right here. One of the bags in there was basically the normal replacements of these keycaps. Some may like this, some may not, but you get the choice in how you want it. If you like it like this, you keep it like this. If not, you can switch out the keycaps for the standard double shot PBT keycaps. Nice sounding, 65%. Let's take a look and see what we've got under the stabilizers here. Oh, this is a new switch I've not seen. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is a Yunzii and Gateron collaboration, I believe. I think it's called the Zero, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look it up during the spec section. But it is a no ping, so I'm going to guess that it's pre-lubricated. It's a long pull linear with a nice poppy and defined bottom out. So that's nice. Let's check out these stabilizers. All right, so we do see that we have lubrication on the inside of the stems and the wire. And I don't see any lubrication on the elbows, but these are all palms, so they should be fairly smooth. Does not appear like we have screw and stabilizer support. It does appear that we have the hi-fi layers, the IXPE, on top of the PET layer that sits on top of the PCB. So that's what gives us that nice poppy sound. Then for the plate, it does look like we have a PC plate, and it does appear to be gasket mounted. As always, the stabilizers on Yunzii keyboards, especially on the AL series, they're just tuned. The tolerances are good, they sound good, they feel good. There's no need to do anything to them. So that's why I can kind of excuse not having the option for a screw and stabilizer, because the ones they deliver, they're always just no ticking, and they work as stabilizers are supposed to work. When I first got into the hobby, I was just confused by the fact that everybody's like, okay, so have you fixed your stabilizers yet? I'm like, what do you mean? And then I started noticing that practically every keyboard that I bought pre-built, basically every keyboard when I first got into this, the stabilizers were like tick, tick, tock, 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 tick, tick, tock. It was just this noise, and I'm like, that's the thing, I didn't realize it until somebody said something, then I was like, now that's all I hear. So every stabilizer that came, it was one of the things I did after I would do a review, was go and take the stabilizers apart and either just lubricate them if that's all they needed, or do the plumber's mod to them, because that would smoothen them out, and usually have to do the band-aid or the tape mod as well to make them tighter fit onto the plate. But that was literally like with almost every keyboard. But I have never needed to do that to a Yunzii. The Yunziis just work. Now, obviously, we do have a very classic design. For me, white on black, black on white is always going to be one of those just classy, ageless, timeless type of styles. I think because it goes back to like a tuxedo, and tuxedos, I don't know when did the first tuxedo come out? I don't know, but I would guess a couple hundred years they've been around at least. So to a lot of people, that black and white just, it's class, it's classy, it's subtle yet luxurious at the same time. So that definitely for me is great. And even with this design now, obviously with white, you could think of like a bone, and that's like the interior. But like I said, I like the black, I like the white on black, black and white, honestly the same. But let's check out that light and see what it looks like coming out of the side there. Yeah, that's nice. In my opinion, this is much better done than just an open cutout. That's being able to see the PCB in there without any protection. But yeah, we do not have a very nice perimeter light that goes all the way around the case. That is very, very sharp looking. I'm really digging the way that this keyboard looks. I usually am a fan of having the blocker and just two 1Us over, or two 1 1/4 modifiers, like the same on the right hand side. But on this one, I really don't mind. Like I said, Not only do these look good, they just perform well. It being VIA, obviously, doesn't matter if you're running Mac, Linux, Windows, you're going to be able to program it over a web browser, Chrome-based web browser. Now, do I wish they were full QMK keyboards? Yes, I do. So just real quick, for those that don't understand, QMK is the firmware. It is source control for firmware for that particular keyboard using the QMK framework. So when you build it or compile the firmware, you have the option to enable VIA as a key map. That basically enables QMK to communicate over the VIA protocol so that you can use VIA through your browser or through an exe. They've discontinued the exe, but you can still download it. But it has the capability to communicate to your keyboard using the VIA protocol. So VIA is a front-end configurator, while QMK is the actual firmware. Unfortunately, some manufacturers are listing keyboards as QMK VIA, thinking that they're interchangeable when they're not. Because if it's QMK, that means the source control for the keyboard would be out there. If it's a VIA only keyboard, then it needs to be listed as a VIA only keyboard, not a QMK VIA keyboard. But that's my rant for today. Just the specs. Today we're taking a look at the Yunzii AL65, a 68 key, 65% 3-mode aluminum keyboard. It comes with a gasket-mounted PC plate, a south-facing 3 and 5-pin hot swap PCB with hi-fi layers, your choice of Yunzii Milk V2 or Gatoron Zero linear switches, and double-shot PBT cherry keycaps, no white on black in this case. This keyboard comes weighing in at 1,050 grams and has a battery capacity of 8,000 milliamp hours. The chin of this keyboard sits at 18 millimeters above the typing surface, while the back sits at 32 millimeters, providing for a default typing angle of 7.5 degrees. The MSRP for this keyboard is $129.99. I like Yunzii keyboards. I think that they're well built, and I personally have never had a Yunzii keyboard die, and I cannot recall anyone reporting hey, my keyboard is dead. And the couple of times that I dealt with them prior, because I'd bought a couple of Yunziis before I really got into making videos and content, their support was great. And anytime I deal with them, they're very friendly people. This keyboard, it's very sharp looking. I love that it has a switch on the back. I like that the port is not hidden. I'm guessing that's the designer's name. I'm not good at all with cursive, so I don't know. I can't even, I'm not even gonna try, but it is like a sparkled inlay. It's nice. I love that design. I love the perimeter look of it. That light along the perimeter for me is just, it's that chef's kiss kind of touch. So now I just looked at the price. It says $159, but cut down to $129. I don't know. It's because of the recent tariffs, and that has changed because I don't remember looking at the price before. But there are so many other 68 or 68 key, 65% keyboard, aluminum keyboards out there, pre-built and bare bone, that are south of $80. This is a cool design, but does it really entail like a $40, $50 tax? I guess really that's up to the consumer to decide. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed the review. As always, if you have any questions, comments, anything for me to look out for when I do come back to it, because I do want to open it up. Like I said, I'll try out the Milk Cocoa switches so we could do a sound test with that. Maybe I'll even switch out the keycaps. But I like it. I've used it for about a half a day, and it hasn't impeded me much. Like I said, I can't do what I would do with QMK, so it's not that big of a deal, but it is a nice looking keyboard. You want something unique. If you want something that's going to stand out, I think this one is going to be it. I mean, obviously, if you really want something that's custom, you're going to pay well 2 or 3 times what this keyboard costs. So as far as, a custom off the shelf keyboard, this one is nice. It's nice looking and it sounds pretty good. Like I said, Out of all the AL series, I probably would rank this low, not because it sounds bad, just I think it could sound better, though it could be just the switches. The other Yunzii AL68s, I believe, at least 2 of them I have milk cocoa switches in. So maybe, like I said, I really like that switch. So it could really be that switch, though I like what Gateron has been doing lately as well. So who knows? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wish everybody out there at YouTube land a wonderful rest of your day. And I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with a stock sound test of the Yunzii AL65, a 68 key via only 65% mechanical keyboard. I do hope you enjoyed the review, and until the next transmission, keep calm and keyboard on.